Alright, guys. So, y'all been kind of wondering about Claire's lore too. Or I was at least thinking about it. So let's go ahead and go into Claire's lore, shall we? Then I'm gonna go in Emily's after this, because, yes. So, we all, most of us, if you watch CAF, you know Claire as the, most chaotic girl version of Clock. But, of course, her past started with kind of a bang, so let's go ahead and get into it. Or at least when you watch the season 3 teaser. Kind of. Well, still. Well, unfortunately, just like all the other four that I stated, no, not the other three, Arbery, Emily, and Ozzy, they all been brought to the lab when they were basically babies, and Claire's parents were not really the same. They didn't really want her, so they just dropped her off to the lab. And also, this is just my theory on ITFT, kind of. This is my AU anyways. Just like Clock, Claire has a object version of herself that has the exact same name as her, but we'll get into that a little bit. Claire basically was isolated the whole entire lab because she was extremely resistant, and let's just say extremely resistant. She's been going as far as to even trying to break windows just to get out of the lab. So she had to be isolated. So that's also why she's just as chaotic now. But let's go ahead and get after she left the lab, because yes. Well, she managed to go in her past, yes, I'm putting quotation marks, and she saw a Clock, also kind of, I think, known as Lucas, basically sitting, I guess, sleeping on the couch, I guess. Then Claire was basically sitting against a wall, which I don't know if I put it that part in the season 3 teaser, but she was sitting against the wall, almost damaged. If it wasn't for her sitting against the wall of the couch, she would be falling apart pretty much. Then, well, this is her if she was in ITFT, of course. When Clock basically got up to see the polka dot portal, I believe, Claire noticed that Clock was there. Then almost immediately when he left, she ran off. She ran off. But it didn't really took long before she was teleported into the ITFT grounds. But of course, she wasn't spotted yet. She just went in the bushes. And once Clock noticed her, she was trying to leave. She was trying to go back to her realm, she wanted nothing to do with the show. And then she was also starting to slowly notice that her similarities and Clock's similarities are extremely common. Extremely. The only thing that's in her object form, or at least in her algebraic form, both of those forms, the only thing that's basically different about her is that she has a skirt on. And no, it's not because of what you think. The reason why all the alternates even have skirts on to begin with is because to simply not be mistaken as the original. So, of course, when Claire was busted, she looked at Clock, looked at herself, started slowly realizing that she was an alternate. But of course, she was doubting that. And, if you didn't know in the season 3 teaser, if you haven't watched that, if Claire basically realizes that she's an alternate, then, let's just say, not only will she break emotionally, she will also go completely bonkers. Because she doesn't want to look like an alternate. She doesn't want to even look or act close to Clock. But unfortunately, no matter how much she tries to act different, she's the same. So while we got that out the way, well, eventually, well, this is my AU, remember that? Clock and Claire pretty much became awesome friends, but she had another problem. She would always put others before herself. Like, if she was like in ITFT7, she would put Clock before herself. She would she would basically comfort Clock even though she would be almost on the brink at the brink of going insane herself. So yeah, she didn't really care about herself. You can't really blame her either due to the stuff that she's been through. You can't really blame her, unfortunately. And also Aubrey and Claire, if you couldn't tell, they were pretty good friends. Aubrey and Claire. They're pretty awesome friends because they were the only ones that stick together. Well, unlike Animatic and Clock, Aubrey and Claire are more like emotionally, like most likely emotionally tied than chaotically tied. So yeah, it's kind of different, really different, kind of. If she was also in ITFT, she would most likely become more aware than anyone else was. She would become aware of basically that they were most likely in a TV. The Channel 57 logo at top, the the TVs and stuff like that. She would be more aware, unfortunately. But she obviously wouldn't tell anyone. That would probably be because she kind of thinks that someone else would be lurking on another screen. Also, unfortunately, she's extremely like really sensitive to most breakdowns, which is why in ITF-7, I believe, if she watched Clock went insane, she would immediately run away and cry in hysterics because she doesn't want to see anyone hurt, mentally, physically, or emotionally. So yeah, that's pretty much all the Claire lore I have for now. Uh, Next time I'll do Emily's lore. But of course, I'll try my absolute best to, try to get some lore for Ozzy, because I haven't got any lore for her yet, because I haven't watched AIB yet. I was too busy focusing on Animatic Battle 4A more than anything. And I'm trying to get the clock plush for Christmas, so yeah, I have a lot more to worry about than this. But when I go on Thanksgiving break, I'll make sure to inform y'all. And, yeah. I'll see y'all later. Bye!